Hi everyone, I just want to show you how to use Slack if you'd like to integrate that in your online course or online learning environment. Slack can be used for discussions, communication, and collaboration. You may have seen how Dr. Bodung Chen used it in his un-LMS approach to online courses that I shared a few weeks back. Rukmini also shared an example of how Dr. Chen used Slack in a course she took with him in her Good Design, Poor Design video, so you may want to take a look at that as well. But you just go to the slack.com website to get started, enter your email address and click Get Started here. If you don't already have an account, you will need to create an account. Slack has premium options that are paid, but for our purposes, we can use the free version. And I've actually only used the free version, had great luck with it. So in order to use some awesome features, you don't necessarily need to pay for the premium features. Then you need to create a workspace. A workspace essentially serves as a separate site. So within your account, you can create multiple workspaces. Each workspace can be used for a course, for a project team that you're working with, a larger group, things like that. So if I click on your workspaces in the upper right, you'll see that I have a few of them here. This is a personal workspace that I use for my own development work. This is a workspace I'm a member of as part of the LT Media Lab. We also use that for our LT academic program. So our instructors have a channel or a smaller group within that workspace. We also have channels for special interests, channels for projects within the Media Lab, and things like that. I've also created a workspace for our class, and we'll be using that workspace whenever we use Slack for the rest of the semester. We'll be using it this week for a reflection and discussion activity. But I just want to show you as well how to create a workspace if you are new to Slack and creating your own account. You can select Create Workspace here in that drop-down menu that appears. And then you just follow the prompts. There are a few different steps. But first you're going to enter your email address, select Next, and then it will ask you to check your email for a certain code. So I'm going to go return that code quickly. And then I can give my workspace a name. So you could give it a course name, for example. Select Next. What is a project your team is working on? So these are the channels or the small groups or the forums that you will create within your workspace. Again, those are referred to as channels. So you can enter anything here and you can change that later. Select Next. And then you can add different teammates or course members that you'd like to invite, but I'm going to skip that for now. And then I'm going to take a look at my channel in Slack. Now again, this is just an example, but I want to show you the different features within Slack as well, so I can finish signing up there. I can enter my name and my password as well. I don't want email from Slack, so I'm going to select Next there. And I'm all set. Now I can change the course name anytime by selecting the drop-down menu there, scrolling down to Administration, and then Workspace Settings. So that's where I can change the name of my work group. I can also add a workspace. I can also add an icon to my workspace as well. So for example, I'm going to browse for an image. The image does need to be square in pixels. I've saved one as an example. I'm going to open that and upload it. It'll take just a moment to upload, but then that is looks like I need to crop it as well. And then that is the icon that will appear next to the name of my workspace. Okay, I'm going to select the menu and then go back to the Slack workspace. And then you can see off to the left that I have different channels. Again, those channels can be small groups. They can be particular projects, or they can also serve as forums. So you can make this your home page, for example. You can make this questions or random. And then I'm going to change this channel to a small group. For our reflection and discussion activity this week, we are going to use small groups, and so I'm just going to show you how to change that. I just click on the name of the channel here, and then scroll down to additional options. That's where I can sort of archive that channel to use later. It doesn't necessarily delete it, it just sets it aside. I can change this to a private channel. So by default, all channels are public. But if I want to make certain channels private to small group members only, I can do that. I can rename the channel, which is what I want to do now. I can set the channel purpose, or I can even delete it if I decide I don't want to use it at a later date, or I want to redo that. But I'm going to rename this channel, and I'm going to make this group gold, just as an example. Now I can also add a topic associated with that group. So I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to place the group members there so we know who is within that group. I can star that to sort of bookmark it. I can also see the member list there, different things that I can do within that channel. I can also add people to the channel by clicking this area here. I can invite people to the workspace in general by clicking this area here that says invite people off to the side. I can do so by specific email address, or I can share the invite link. So if I click on that, you can see that it provides me with a link. I can copy that and then paste that within a Canvas course website like I've done this week for all of you to join our class workspace, just as an example. But there's lots of things that I can do there. I can also change my profile within Slack, and you're going to need to do this within our class workspace as well. So I just click on my name, and then a drop-down menu will appear. I can change my own profile and account there. And then it will allow me to edit my profile. So I click on Edit Profile off to the right. I can change this to a profile photo of myself. I think I'll also need to crop that once again. I think it needs to be square, sure enough. I'm going to save that profile photo. Okay. And then I can also introduce myself, share my, what I do professionally. I can share my phone number. I can also share my Skype account for connections that way. I can change my display name, lots of different things. I'm going to cancel out of that. And I'm going to go back to the channels that I've created. Now to add messages within channels, for example, say you are part of Group Gold. If you would like to add your reflection, you will do so as a message within that group's channel. So here's where you can add your messages down at the bottom. I'm just going to add test, and then if I hit enter, or I can hit the plus, that's where my message will be posted. Others can then reply to that post or that message within Slack by starting a thread. So if I select this button here that says start a thread in that icon, I can start replying to that. Here's another reply example. I can also add different emojis, smiley face, send that. I can also tag certain people if I want to respond to a particular person and I want them to be notified that I've responded to them. I can just hit the @ symbol, and then other members will appear. I can select them, like here's one for example, and then select send. That person will receive a notification then that they've received a reply or there's a message directed at them. But there are a variety of different things that you can do, and we'll sort of play around with that this week as we begin to use Slack in this class. Again, just in a variety of different ways as an example if you'd like to use it in the future. I also want to point to this area here that you can enable desktop notifications, and then you can also use, let's see if I can find that here. You can also download the Slack application or program, and you can download that on your computer, and that way you can use it separately outside of a browser. You'll receive desktop notifications that you have messages. I also have the Slack mobile app downloaded on my smartphone. I'm using a Samsung Android phone. It's also available on iOS or iPhones, and then you can respond to Slack messages on your mobile device as well. So Slack is a really nice tool because it allows for either shorter responses, more immediate responses, or longer responses, of course, to questions and things. But the immediacy is heightened because you do have quicker access to this, and I find it a little bit more engaging and easier to reply to things than going into a Canvas site, for example. So this week we'll try using Slack and experiment with it a bit, and I hope you enjoy using Slack as an alternative communication and collaboration tool.